Okay, and I will call the Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order at 6 p.m. on August 3rd. All right. So the first item is the approval of minutes, and I cannot participate in the May 17th minutes because I wasn't part of that meeting. So
I will motion to approve.
I'll second.
okay. Any discussion?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Dennis, how do you vote?
Yes.
Sean, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, it's 2-0. I abstained from the vote since I wasn't here. All right,
I have to abstain from the July 20th.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve. We don't have them though.
No, they're in there.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll motion to approve July 20th.
Okay, and I'll second that. Any discussion, Dennis?
No.
Okay. Are you in favor?
Yes.
And I'm in favor, 2-0. And Mr. George abstaining because he was absent. Sorry, my pencil isn't writing as fast as I'd like to. All right, then on to order fiscal year 21-56, contract ratification of Local 17 ASME Council 93. Michael Dutton has provided a financial impact statement and some of the numbers that go with it, as well as the MOA, the Memorandum of Agreement. Do we want to hear an introduction first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So this agreement covers, dates back about a year. It covers from 7/1/2020 through 6/30/22. So it's 2 fiscal year agreement. There were a number of relatively insignificant, nothing's insignificant, but relatively insignificant language changes to the agreement, just mostly to clarify language around discipline. It was clarifying language around how we place people, new employees within the grade, on which step within the grade. There was some union request to add language pursuant to the new law post the ASME Supreme Court decision, and also changes in state law. We added Juneteenth as a town holiday. We clarified some of the language in the sick leave provision so that we strengthened our ability to investigate and request information if somebody's out for a more prolonged period of time. Simply clarified some gender pronouns in the boot allowance provision, and clarified when that boot allowance would be paid. So more, and then clarified some language around when we hire retirees to fill vacant full-time positions, which we do and we will continue to do as we need. In terms of the compensation, as I say, it's a 2-year agreement. Total across the entire unit, total increase of $33,980. That represents about 2.4% of the total payroll, ASME payroll right now. And as I say, that represents 2 years worth. So to break that down, we're giving everybody a one-time payment, $750. That's always preferable to us if we can get away with that, because it's a non-recurring expense and it doesn't build upon built upon a base. But in this case, we had some discussion about that, and they agreed to 750 one time. And then the agreement calls for adding 2 steps onto the pay matrix in each grade that affects AFSCME. So the cost of that in year 1 would be 0.5%. Cost of that in year 2 would be 0.5%. And again, the 0.5% of total payroll in each of those cases. So the cost of year 1 is with step alone is 7,520, and then it's a little more than that in year 2, $7,708. So that I think is sort of the good news. One of the provisions also in the MOU is that we will, once we get the compensation study completed, we'll return back to the table if the sides are amenable to that. And we will be, because we know that we will have to make some significant adjustments across this unit in particular, because of the vacancies that we see, which is not only, it's not particular to us, it's everybody, but we think we're going to have to be more competitive than we already are in trying to get quality employees. So we'll see increases very likely in water and sewer departments, and we will probably see some less significant, more modest increase in the roadways department. So that is late, a little bit down the road, probably in the next 3 months or so. So we will deal with that when the time comes. So this is what you've got in front of you for now. And certainly I'm happy to answer questions.
Michael, so the $750 one-time payment, what does that represent?
It's a common practice when, especially when we have gone, a year without being able to settle the contract. So simply represents, a one-time payment, one-time stipend, and essentially an incentive to agree to the contract.
Okay. And then the only other thing is it says, actually, in regards to sick leave. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read on my phone and it's not coming up. Sick leave language to clarify the process when management thinks sick leave is being abused. Just in general, how has that been firmed up or improved, or whatever the word you're looking for?
Let me pull it up for you. So it gives us the right to request medical certification if the employee gives notice that that more than 5 days of sick leave is necessary. So
that wasn't in prior contracts?
No, it was kind of a more watered down language. There was language that kind of addressed it, but it was a little confusing. So this allowed us to make it very clear. So it really is it's clarifying language and putting specific dates. I think prior to this we had 3 days, and then there was mushy language that we could request, some information after 3 days. And after the, most recent COVID, I think everybody thought, 5 days is probably a more appropriate period of time. So that's the change there.
Okay, and then just one other question. So I noticed in here there's language in regards to hiring retirees for open positions, which I totally understand and is a good pool of resources. It says in here that they're not eligible for benefits, but the question I have is this, and maybe I'm wrong. If they work 40 hours, or I think it's 36. Isn't it by law that they're eligible for benefits, even though we're saying that they're not eligible for it?
They can't, as a retiree, they can't work, I think, Dennis, what is it, 960 hours for the year? They can't work more than that.
Or the pay difference, right?
Right, and to the extent that they receive benefits, that's essentially, it's through the town anyway, but it's really through their retirement that they're receiving certainly health benefits. So that's really the major one. So if they're a retiree, they don't have to, but they're likely receiving health coverage from either the town or Medicare. So we actually the union inserted that language actually. So we're obviously required by law to provide certain benefits regardless. So this, whatever's here certainly doesn't override state law.
Okay, so I'm just for my own clarification, and I get the retirement board does restrict the amount of hours they work. You said 960, but conceivably, if someone's working full-time for 2 months, call it 2 months. I mean, legally, they'd be eligible for something. It would be up to them not to exercise it, or it still would be covered because they're retired.
Yeah.
I think they're still recovered because they're retired. I mean, I say 960. I know that the COVID, some of the COVID laws changed some of the 960 temporarily, but yeah, they would be otherwise covered under either their retirement or Medicare.
Okay. All right.
Or by a spouse. They could be covered by
Yeah.
a spouse.
Right.
Not part of our plan.
Okay.
The benefits aren't really an issue for retirees. You probably have to take out, I don't know if you take out OBRA as a deduction, if you do anything like that with their pay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Bill, my question to Mike is, so there was no real settlement on a basic cost of living adjustment during these 2-year periods, and that.
No, what I can tell you what our strategy has been in preparation for what we think is probably a ramp up in inflation. Our strategy has been to collapse the COLA and the matrix, and anytime. And this is also due to more administrative, trying to make it administratively a little more easy. So our focus has been to try to collapse both of those into simply a matrix. So in this particular case, we granted 2 steps on the matrix, which keeps people moving up. There are about 5-6 employees who will keep now moving up that couldn't move up before. They were stuck at top step. So that's kind of how we're trying to treat COLA, trying to phase out the use of COLA generally. And we think that that's going to help prepare us for certainly future negotiations. Does that make sense?
Yep. So
Anything else?
that's all I have. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I guess we can move on to motions.
I'll move to approve the ratification of the local 1700 Assembly Council 93 contract as presented.
I will second a recommendation to approve.
All right. Any other discussion? Well, hearing none. Dennis,
Nope.
are you
Yes,
voting
yes.
voting on it? Yes.
No, that's it. No discussion, but yes.
Sean, you yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, I'm a yes. So we have a 3-0. Awesome. All right. Josh, I didn't see any public joining us, so I think we can have public comment.
No public.
There's somebody hiding there. All right. Just scrolling back to the top here. That's it. We don't have any other business. You can go have a dinner break before the next
Dinner break, yes. Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Second.
All right. No discussion. Dennis, you're in favor, yes?
Yes.
Sean, you're
Yes.
yes, and I'm in favor, yes, and see you in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
See you guys
everybody.
soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Josh.